What is going on? And in today's video, I'm going to be covering over a live cold call example of a property that expired off the market. We cold called them and they ended up listing with us a few days after. This is going to give you a live cold call example so you know exactly how we reach out to these leads, how we convert them into appointments and qualify them. And then ultimately, I'll make another video showing how we convert all these appointments into listings. So let's dive right in and listen to this call. This is an expired lead, by the way.
Good morning, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony. This is Marissa here. I'm calling in regards to your home on 3730 Felipe Way.
Yes.
Are you the owner?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We had sent a text a couple of days ago. I'm calling on behalf of Mark Lewis. I'm not sure if that rings a bell or not.
What's his name? You're calling on behalf of who?
Mark Lewis.
It does not ring a bell.
Well, that's okay. We were just wondering to see if you were still accepting offers on that home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Is there a particular number that you were looking to get?
Yeah, so 493 is the asking price.
So right away, and I'm going to leave some notes over here. Right away, we're starting off with opening the call, right? We want to know specifically about the property. So we're going to ask, are they still accepting offers, right? Are they still accepting offers on the property or not? We also want to know what price are they looking to get for the property? What's their bottom line net? So we're going to ask some deeper questions. This just helps us know, are they a realistic seller? Are they actually interested and motivated to sell? Sometimes if they give us a high price, let's say the property is worth 400 and they give us 550, we're going to end up saying, is this just a purely financial kind of motivation, or is there anything else that might be causing you to move? This really helps us determine, is this person qualified and motivated, or do they just want a sky high price? So this is the opening of the call.
Price is what I'm asking for it. I'm open to offers as well.
Okay. 493. That's a pretty reasonable price for the area, for the home in the area.
Well, I could tell you right now, in Kingsbury. So I've lived in that subdivision for let's see here, 4 years. So I rented in that subdivision for 2 years when I moved to Nashville for work. And then I decided to just take the last lot in that subdivision, basically, in Kingsbury, and I just built in that subdivision since I was like, you know what? So when I moved to Nashville from St. Louis, September of 2021, the market was it was at the bubble. So, everything you had to offer like 30 to 50 grand over the Zillow price to even have a shot at buying a home. And so we rented for a couple years and then decided to build. Closed on it December of 2023, and then I got.
Real quick to pause. All we're doing right here is just asking questions to get the context of the scenario. I want to know specifically what's going on with this property. What is this to you? Is this main residence, second residence? Are you renting it out? Is it Airbnb? What is going on with this property? And we just want to grab a lot of context. So when you previously had it listed, any offers come through? If so, why not? What's the plan with the property now? Are you renting? We just want to know everything about this person's current scenario, and he's just spilling it all out on us. He's giving us everything. Sometimes you got to ask better questions. Sometimes they're just going to give you it naturally. So this is obviously giving it a little bit easier.
Transferred with my job, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I put it on the market, let's see here, like September of last year. Now that subdivision, that's a really nice subdivision. I mean, it's got tons of amenities, great location, good school district. I mean, but that subdivision, I guess, houses are, kind of been sitting in that subdivision for a minute, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. When your house was on the market, because I know you just said it's been on there since September, were you getting some offers?
No, well, I mean, we were having some showings and stuff, but you also have to understand, I put it on the market when the rates were like, almost 7%. So, a $500,000 house at a 7% interest rate, it's like a $3,800 mortgage payment. Not very many people can afford a payment like that monthly. You guys make $200,000 a year, and you're still going to be house poor if you make $200,000 a year on a mortgage like that with all your other bills, in a sense. With today's inflation rate and all that. So, did you have somebody in mind?
So Mark Lewis.
So this is normally where most people get lost is the beginning of the call. We're kind of just building context on the scenario. He's kind of a little weary on who we even are still. What's the reason for the call, etc. Now, this is where we transition into the pitch. You want to take this step by step. If you go straight into, oh yeah, I'm calling to list the property, your success rate's going to be a lot lower. You want to step into this kind of listing the property conversation slowly and surely. So we're going to start by just seeing how we can provide value to him in the first part. This agent in particular has really strong offers, cash offer programs, investor connections that we can leverage. I highly recommend everyone does this because it gets your foot in the door with a lot of sellers and opens up that conversation to even listing in the first place. Now, we have a lot of different agents. Some of them provide cash offers, some don't. Works either way. This is just a little bit easier for throughput reasons.
And I'm his assistant. So he works with a number of buyers. We even have a cash offer program that where we have a ton of investors that are kind of ready to move forward. If you're open to it, Anthony, and I'm not saying that we're necessarily going to be bringing a buyer by.
Very key line. We're not going to be bringing a buyer by. This is saying we don't have a buyer. We're not bringing an offer. We're just opening up a conversation.
But Mark would love to come by, check out the house, see if there's anything that we could possibly do different to help it get sold a lot quicker. Is that something that you're open to?
So, Mark Willis is
Mark Lewis.
Mark Lewis.
Yeah. Yes, that's the agent that I do work for. And we just noticed that, it was kind of weird that your house didn't sell in the time frame that it was on the market because.
So now what we've done is we've pitched him, right? And we're also, which is really unique, is we're building up, kind of doubt in his mind of, well, why didn't it sell last time? Like, what did go wrong? I'm a little surprised last time this property didn't sell. That's the reason I'm reaching out. I'm really shocked it didn't sell. You want to make him feel like this isn't normal, that his property didn't sell, because it isn't normal. It should have sold if you had the right agent in place.
It's a good location, like you were saying. It's very comparable in pricing to other homes in the area. Do you know why? Did your last agent, did they give you any feedback as to why that may have happened?
So here's the feedback that we've been getting in that subdivision. So in Kingsbury, there's four, I think 4 or 5 houses for sale. There has been no homes sold in that subdivision for 6 months. Even agents have talked to my agent and they're like, man, this is weird, and so I think, I don't know if maybe it's just a little bit higher per square foot, than, places that are, I would say, within 5 miles from that location. From what I'm hearing is, people are shopping around and find subdivisions that are, getting more bang for their buck, basically, or getting the same amount of space for less dollar amount per square foot and brand new builds. So, it's kind of one of those things. And I told my agent, I was like, well,
with a lot of expireds, the main conversation point that you're going to be talking about specifically is being overpriced, right? A lot of expireds are overpriced, and this is the main kind of objection that you need to get over, because obviously if they were properly priced, they would have already sold. So this is the main thing that we're kind of teeing up. We're trying to get those answers, and then we're going to try to kind of hit at it a little bit. Now, we don't want to hit too much because it's a cold call. We haven't built any connection yet. We want to kind of make it a little bit easier for when our agent has that conversation on pricing with them. It's a lot easier to kind of swing at it. And ultimately, we did take the listing at a good price point. It actually just went under contract a few days ago, so going to sell soon. But that's the point. We don't want to take overpriced listings. So we want to start to tee this up to have that proper pricing conversation and make it easier for our agent and our client to be able to ultimately take that appointment and get over that pricing hump.
The builders screw us over. Screw everybody over in this subdivision, by, charging them too much per square foot. And my agent was like, I hate to say it, but it almost kind of seems like a little bit. Yeah. And I'm like, damn,
yeah.
So, obviously I want to sell the house. I need to sell it. I'm not trying to make any money. I don't really.
That's a green light to us. He needs to sell. Not trying to make any money. Now, he can try to make money, but he needs to sell. This is what we're looking for. We're not looking for want to sells. I want this price. It would be nice if I got this price. We're looking for need to sell properties.
Care to make any money. I just want to get rid of this house, and my agent that I have, I'm using George Weeks, and, there's been 5 open houses since September of last year. We've had maybe 6
Wow.
showings, and it's like it almost seems like they're just waiting for a buyer to walk up to them. Like, it's not what it's going to take to sell a house. It's going to take somebody
Right.
to go get a buyer,
I hate to keep pausing, but now we're building a gap. We're building a problem. There's a problem with his current agent, and he's expressing that to us. I need to sell now. I don't need to make money. My current agent is not fulfilling what I need to. We've had almost no showings. There's a big gap that's building for our agent to swoop in and become that hero.
It's a beautiful house. I mean, if you look at you got to make sure you're looking at the right pictures of it, because, there's 2 different Zillow. There's 2 sets of pictures. One says 483. I'm not really sure why there's one on there that says 483, because that's not how much it is. That's not the one. It's the one that's 493. But I mean, it's gorgeous, mint condition. There's lots of amenities, pool, dog park. I mean, it's just going to take somebody that has, what would you guys? How long have you guys been around?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know how long Mark Lewis has been around. I've been his assistant for like 2 months, so I'm really new to the system. It's a question I should probably know the answer to, but A
little bit of a hiccup. One of the first calls from the setter for this new agent, but obviously we learned it straight after this call. Still, very good call, nevertheless, and ultimately ended up listing. So this just shows that you can make mistakes and still list a property.
don't off the top of my head. But what I will say is that he's been around for several years, and he's been able to sell a lot of homes like yours. What I think might be the best thing for you, Anthony, is just to schedule a meeting. There's no obligation to moving forward with his services, but at least you get kind of another take on possibly what happened with the home the first time, or if there's anything that we could do different to really help you get it sold. I know it's something that's super important for you. And then again, we do have a ton of investors that he works with in his back pocket that are cash offers. So if you're looking for kind of a quick sell.
So right here, we kind of pitched overall services, right? We didn't hit so much on the buyers like we did in that first kind of initial pitch. We hit more on overall services in this one to open his mind to actually listening to what does listing look like, et cetera, not just bringing a buyer by. With that being said as well, we want to pitch the meeting very lightly. So there is no obligation. And if you say that, some people think it hurts, but it actually helps. If the person goes in the conversation not feeling obligated, like they have to move forward, they're a lot more open to giving you the right answers, the truthful answers, actually speaking with you, and actually kind of giving you that time of day. And they're not so closed off. And this allows you to get the answers that are ultimately going to help you get the sale. So it opens these prospects up a lot.
You might as well not even waste your breath on telling me about a cash offer, because there's zero shot of entertaining a cash offer on what you guys or anybody's trying to offer me on cash offer. I went down that road just to entertain it, just to see, and it's laughable. Like, you want to fuck people over. No offense, and I don't take that as me. Pardon my language, but don't take that as me. Now
what we're gonna do? He obviously doesn't like cash offers. We're gonna throw rocks at cash offers. We don't like that. We've got that option. It's for people that need to do it. You don't. Let's talk about listing.
Sending you that bad energy, because I'm not. I'm just saying it's so funny when they're like, "Yeah, I'll give you a cash offer," and it's $390,000. I'm like, "You dumbass! I owe $460 on the house. You really think I'm stupid enough to take that and then have to come out of pocket $60,000 to pay the mortgage off? Get the F out of here! Sorry, dude. Like."
Yeah,
no.
I totally understand. That's why when he comes by, basically what he would be doing is he'd be, appraising the house himself, looking at it. Our goal is to help you reach your goals, right? So, Anthony, if there is a certain amount that you are trying to net, we want to make sure that you get that. The cash offers, that's going to be more so, like you're saying, yes, 100%. It's going to be more of that quick sale, just get it off of your hands. That kind of aspect. But if that's not something you want to explore, that's also okay. I'm just saying we could look at all the options. That way you're aware of what you could do, what might work best for you. Just seeing if there's something we could do differently this time around.
So now what she's doing is he's like, no cash offer, no cash offer. Now we just positioned ourselves on his side of the table, which is super important because now we're not going combative against him, we're with him. I agree, cash offers might not be the perfect scenario for you. That's why we provide multiple options. Our goals are just to reach your goals. And now we're on his side of the table, which makes it a lot less combative and a lot more, hey, we're here to help you.
There's no harm in meeting with him. At the end of the day, you get more information, right?
How much business last year did they do?
Mark Lewis himself or the whole brokerage?
The brokerage. What did you guys do last year in sales in Tennessee? Do you know?
I would have to double check that because, again, that's not something I know off the top of my head right now. But I can.
This is fine. Didn't know the answer to the question. Totally cool. Obviously now she does. Once again, this was one of the first calls for this new agent. With that being said, though, this is a good question that he's asking because this isn't something we should be asking. This is or answering. Excuse me. This is something our agent should be answering on that appointment. This guy's obviously interested. He's talking about how much sales we've done. He wants to know credibility, and if he wants to know credibility, schedule that meeting.
Definitely figure that out for you.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I appreciate the phone call and all. But whoever I choose, I'm definitely getting rid of my agent. There's no doubt about that. But I'm picking somebody that has a huge network following. I mean, massive. I'm probably going to go with somebody like Keller Williams or Mark Spain. I'm probably going to go with.
That's who we're with. We're with Mark Spain. We're with Mark Spain Real Estate.
Oh, so you guys are a branch off Mark Spain?
Yes. So Mark Lewis is the agent. Our brokerage that we work with is Mark Spain Real Estate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you have their network basically.
Even if we didn't work for Mark Spain or one of the brokerages he's mentioned, we can still talk about our network because that's what he was hitting on mainly. But he's told us he needs to sell. He doesn't care if he makes money on it or not. He needs it off his plate as soon as possible. He's going to switch agents. All the green lights.
Access to. And I know they have a massive network in Nashville.
He's selling himself.
Believe me, I see this guy everywhere. Nashville.
This is why you choose.
So that's us.
Okay, well, that's definitely good. That's definitely good. If you have access to, his network out there, I definitely feel that, you guys can piggyback off his network, I guess, right?
Yes,
in a
100%.
sense, yeah, and I know he's obviously super connected and does massive advertising and all that. So, I would definitely be up for entertaining, speaking to,
That's the answer we're looking for when we book a meeting. Are they open to entertaining and actually speaking about how our agent can help?
What was his name, Mark Lewis?
Yes.
I'd be totally down to speaking with them. It's going to be, probably going to have to be a little creative to figure out a time frame due to my work schedule. But if you would like...
what would be a time that might work for you?
Now,
because he can work
all we're doing is we're scheduling a meeting. And that's pretty much it. Outside of that, scheduling times, and then we just reiterate expectations once more because we really want it to be super clear for our agent and this prospect on what's being covered. So just to be clear once more, we don't currently have a buyer for the property. We're going to meet you at the property, 123 Main Street at 2 p.m. tomorrow. What we're going to cover is A, B, and C. And at the end of that conversation, you can decide if our agent is the person that you want to move forward with or not. And this just helps us really, really provide a lot of value for the agent by triple checking that this person is qualified, open to that conversation, proper expectations set. Now, I know I stopped kind of typing on this sheet in halfway through, but you can see the high-level overview process is opening, building trust, asking curiosity-inducing questions, and getting context, then transitioning into why hasn't it sold yet, or what is the motivation, etc. Then pitching them with that motivation you got, and then kind of handling some of those objections they might give you surface level, really getting on their side of the table throughout the call, and then ultimately scheduling that meeting as a no obligations consult to talk about options of how you can help sell, et cetera, et cetera. If you follow this framework, it's picked up dozens and dozens of listings for our agents every year. Our agents are doing extremely well with these appointments because they have the proper expectation set, the proper motivation to sell, and they've been set up perfectly. It's pretty much a layup on our agent's end to go and take this appointment. He knows all the objections that this guy might have, and he also knows the expectations that he has in the call, and it's pretty easy for our agent to go in there and close. And that's why we're seeing 30, 40, 50% conversion rates on some of these appointments. If you are looking to get done for you appointments set on your calendar, please click the first link in the description below and just apply. You can schedule a calendar. You can schedule a meeting in the calendar with myself where we can discuss kind of what our services look like and how we can put 10, 15, 20 of these types of appointments on your calendar every single month so you can take 3 to 5 listings a month or more. And thank you so much for watching the video. Drop a like down below, subscribe, comment any questions you might have, and take this process and implement it. Not a lot of people will show you their live cold calls. We're more than open to do that because we know they work, and we know if you follow this framework yourself, you're going to book a lot of meetings. If you hire us, you're going to book a lot of meetings, but this is overall going to help your business scale quite a ton. Take care. Bye-bye.